Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of Northern Transmissions. Thanks for tuning in. This is actually a momentous occasion. It's episode number 7. So who knows? It might be a lucky one. But I had the opportunity to sit down with Vancouver band, the Matinee. Matt, and Jeff chatted with me, and let's check out a song before we get into the interview. This is Friends off their latest EP. And that was the track Friends off the latest self-titled EP by the Matinee. We chatted a little about the songwriting process, as well as playing the odd high school gig once in a while.
When we first started the band, it was just Matt and I, the two Matts. We really just got together to try and write some songs together. We were in other bands for many years, and the 6 of us in the band all went to high school together. So after being in other bands, Matt and I kind of reconnected and tried our hand at writing some songs, and it worked. And we started playing acoustically, just the 2 of us, and kind of decided we should put a band together. And naturally, we just called on our friends from high school that are also musicians, and those are the guys in the band now. So it's progressed from just the 2 of us writing to the band writing songs. But, you know, every song is different.
It's still generally, there's really 2 ways that our songs come about. A lot of the times it's Matt Maisel has a vocal idea in his head, a melody that he'll kind of sing out to me with no chords or anything, and then, or me or Jeff actually as well, and we'll work on putting, you know, the musicality, the music section to it. Or a lot of the times it's, you know, me or Jeff or one of the other guys has an actual music part written, and then we give it to Matt, and Matt can, you know, we may have a melody, we may not, and Matt will quite often come up with a melody to work over what we have.
Basically, we'll get, you know, the framework of something, and then, I mean, the other 3 guys are all, you know, very educated musicians, and then sort of their lexicon is real huge, and we'll go and just work it out. You know, sometimes it's hard to fit 6 parts in.
Did you just say lexicon?
I do believe I did.
Threw that out there.
Good. Triple.
But yeah, we'll
Word.
bring. It's usually the 3 of us bringing ideas to rehearsal, and then as a group we flesh it out and really work out the song. But the idea usually starts with the 3 of us here, and then as a group we'll make it into the hit song of the future.
Right. You played a few times in high schools, right?
Oh, yeah.
How did this come about? I don't mean when you're younger, obviously. I mean like right now, because you played when.
There's 3 of us in the group. Mike and Dave, the brothers. That's our bass player and our keys and mandolin. And myself, we had a band prior to this, and we got involved with the BC Schizophrenia Society, and they were wanting to go into the high schools and do a presentation on mental health, but they wanted to do it in a way that the kids would actually pay attention. So they hired us as a band to go in and play while the speakers were, you know, or after the speakers were talking about the heavy stuff. And that contract kind of got grandfathered into the matinee when we started. So now when we do that presentation, we're actually speaking too. So we're speaking about mental health and kind of drug issues and whatnot, and playing the music. So our experience with that had us playing in schools like all over BC, the Yukon, the Charlottes, Twin Charlottes. We went in prisons.
Yeah, there must have been probably a couple of years, I would say. You did it before the matinee, and then as the matinee, we did it for about 2 years full time.
Yeah.
We've kind of actually backed off doing the BC Schizophrenia shows because we've got involved with the BC Arts Council has the Art Starts program, which is similar in the sense that it goes to high schools and middle schools, but it's basically the program is all about promoting the arts and whatnot. It involves everyone from bands to dance troupes to theater acts and on, poets, whatnot. That presentation is really geared towards what we're doing, and we kind of have an actual presentation that we give about being an independent band and trying to just give the kids some insight into what we've gone through, what we've found that works in the industry and whatnot. So I mean, the experience we had with the Reach Out tour and the BC Schizophrenia Society, it just fit perfectly into what we're now doing with the Arts Council and the Arts Starts program. It's tough though. I think with our genre, there's I know there's been some other bands who have been involved specifically with the Arts Starts performances over the past couple of years that we know were very pop rockish style, kind of appealing to a really broad high school audience. I think
we have to win them over.
We have to win them over because a lot of kids are listening to our influences or are into roots rock, so to speak. But a lot, having said that, a lot of kids just don't get any kind of live band performances that come through their schools, so they're always excited to see a band and stuff. So,
but that definitely, when I think back to some of the schools we played at earlier on doing this, that was one of the biggest learning experiences. It was scary playing for a bunch of kids just looking at you stone-faced. They have no clue who you are. You're in the gym on the floor. Mm-hmm. As opposed to a bunch of people in a bar that are drinking and ready to have a good time. It took a while.
All the lights are on.
And teachers are watching it.
We're lugging all our own gear, running our own sounds, bringing the PA around and setting up and trying to make sure it sounds halfway decent for us behind, the monitors, and everything sounded good for everybody out front too.
Hi there. Thanks again for listening to Northern Transmissions. I'm chatting with the Matinee. We discussed next the musical genre of the band and how it might be, what the future holds for it and how it's going right now, as well as what type of music had inspired them and what's getting them going these days.
You know what? I don't think our genre is going extinct. I actually think our genre is making a real comeback.
Yeah, I agree totally.
Yeah.
There's been lots of, I think, artists in our genre are starting to get a lot more exposure. And you look at a station like The Shore. I don't know if you can plug that in your show or not, but The Shore is like really promoting and helping bands like ours, bringing us to a lot of people's attention. So, thanks, Matt.
Yeah, but you see, like, a lot of these artists, like, say, I'll get into details, but like one of the Alexis on Fire, that's pretty heavy and hard and whatever. And then Dallas Green doing City in Color, it's very sort of moody and rootsy and that kind of stuff. And like Thrice, Dustin Kensler, the singer from that band, he's doing stuff that sounds like real old rock and Johnny Cash and stuff like that. Like it's, I think it's a part of us just maturing a bit as well. Man, like when I was 20, I didn't want to hear what we're doing now. I couldn't have ever imagined being in this band. And now I can't imagine being in any other kind of band, because this is, we're doing it because we really love it,
Yeah, and I think that people are getting sick of the auto-tune.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think
Thank God.
it's sad that a generation kind of grew up with, they were just used to that. Everything they heard on the radio sounded like that, and everybody at home could make themselves sound perfect like that. But I think people are actually either getting sick of it, or they've learned that doesn't mean it's good just because it sounds perfect. It's not real, it's not really tangible. And when you go see an artist live, when they don't live up to that, or you catch them lip syncing, it just takes away from the experience of that $80 ticket you had. So
Yeah, and that's just it. I mean, so much of what we do is about our live performance. And you can't, like Matt said, these pop artists can't replicate what they're doing live without all these tracks, the tune, vocals, whatever, right? I mean, it's a show. It's an editing show more than a rock show, right? It's lexicon, really.
Call back. What piece of music do you think inspired you the most to want to, maybe not piece, maybe a musician or band, to write songs and be in a band? You can each tell me.
I mean, for myself, I remember the exact moment where I knew I wanted to write songs and started writing songs, and it was grade 6, and I wasn't a soccer player, and everybody was playing soccer all day at lunch, and I didn't want to do that. My grandparents are English, and they sent me cassette tapes of the Beatles, every single Beatles album, and B-sides and everything, all on cassette, and I had my little Sony Walkman, and I spent lunch hours just learning songs, and I didn't know it, but I was learning songwriting structure and harmony, and that's when I started writing songs, and I knew from that point that that's what I wanted. I didn't know if I'd ever be in a band, but I knew I wanted to write songs, and so that's how it started for myself, definitely.
Yeah, funny thing for me is I didn't get in, like I was into music heavily in high school and stuff, but I didn't actually pick up an instrument until right about the time we graduated. And it was because I wasn't hanging out so much with Matt, but especially Jeff and Pete, our drummer, at the time, were playing music all the time and playing instruments and stuff. So I was kind of, in
Pete's basement.
At senior high, you're starting to forge these friendships that are going to actually last beyond your schooling days and stuff, right? And I was starting to hang out with a musical crowd, and that's what got me into playing. But I have a couple guys in the band, I think, to thank for that.
I was sort of lucky enough, growing up, my parents were really sort of open and supportive, and I mean, my mom, I think she plays the flute, and she's now taking Celtic harp lessons, like my old man plays like the pan flutes and the shakuhachi Japanese flutes. Like they're pretty funny that way, but they're really encouraging to us if we wanted a guitar. You know, we'd do our chores, save up, you know, our allowance, and they'd basically pay for the whole thing as long as they made us feel like we were contributing. And my brother, this church band my brother and his friends started, the Mighty Cum Shots, right? TMCS. They told their parents it was the melted cheese sandwich.
Did you say church band?
Yeah, I know. And
What's going on out there,
the
man?
melted cheese sandwich or whatever. But like this was it was foul language and terrible, and they were terrible musicians on purpose, I think. You know, and so seeing how far they got just on absolutely.
So thanks to the Mighty Cum Shots.
Yeah, thanks to the Mighty Cum Shots for proving to me that ambition can far exceed talent when it comes to the necessities of getting somewhere.
This is Northern Transmissions, and let's do another song from the Matinee off their self-titled EP called The Road.
Look back, but I keep going anyway. You say it's easy, so I look back. I say, come along. It's a road, it's dirty road. It's all I know. I keep going anyway. Ain't nothing wrong with a little fun. It might take long. If I look back, I can't be around. This old road, this dirty road, it's all I know. I keep going anyway. Ain't nothing wrong with a little fun. It might take long. I keep going anyway. Change. You say you need me, so I look back. I say, come along. You say it's easy. Oh, babe, I think there's got to be a better way. Don't you believe me? If I look back, I can't be around. Keep going.
Next, we talked about selling millions of records or writing the perfect masterpiece.
Let's talk about it.
Can't we do both?
Yeah. Did I say a million? I meant a few million.
A few million.
That changes everything.
You know what? Honestly, I think we would all agree. I'm going to speak for everybody, but I'm going on a limb here. I think we all agree that writing the masterpiece is more important than selling a million records. Because I think all of us, if we could just make our daily wage doing this, we'd be happy. And anything on top of that's just icing.
We're absolutely looking to do this. Like, this is what we want to do for our jobs, and we understand that a lot of the bands that really rock it up, the trajectory is the exact same on the way down. Do you know what I mean? And like, we're just trying to build something steady and something sustainable. And we want to be able to be comfortable and make a living and tour with our best friends and, you know, just do what we love to do. You know, selling some records would be fantastic, but I mean...
Yeah.
The other reality of that is that selling a million records is, first of all, it's really tough to do these days. And secondly, that doesn't mean that you've made it as a band. Like, we have friends, Matt actually played in a band for a while that was on a major label in the States, and, you know, they got a $1 million record deal, and they sold, you know, hundreds of thousands of records, and within a year the bands dropped off the label because they didn't sell enough, or they just weren't the main interest in the station or the label, sorry. So
Yeah, we've seen firsthand through a lot of friends the real shitty part of the industry, like the getting spat out.
doesn't mean longevity. Selling a million records, I'd rather make a masterpiece and have a few people that'll still come out and see us in 10, 15 years.
Quiet, Jeff.
Here's the guys talking about playing new songs for the very first time, as well as doing shows in the true rock and roll lifestyle.
We really put our songs through the ringer before they ever make it to anybody's ears besides our own. And we really, I mean, the more we hang out and the more we go through the process, like the more sort of judgmental each of us gets. I mean, you got to go through 6 pretty big opinions within this band. A song has to go through that before it gets anywhere. So, I mean, it's safe to say that for the most part, we're already pretty, we believe in them. We're behind them. The other half, for me, is, man, I go on stage with these 5 guys, I feel fucking invincible.
You take that
You know what
one
I mean?
guy in the audience who's not getting off, and you get him off, man.
No, but, yeah, you just feel like we're just going to kill it all the time.
I'm never lacking confidence when we play a new song for the first time. I'm more anxious because I want people to hear it.
There's a bit of, like, and it's horrible to say this, but there's a bit of conceit is not the right word because it's not it, but like there has to be a level of confidence when you get up there.
So conceited, man.
Well, if you walk up there and you're unsure, like that, it
It's
comes
gonna
across.
translate,
Like you gotta go out there and you gotta think you're gonna nail it.
You gotta sell it.
Like,
If anything, like my nerves come out when I play a song for these guys for the first time. When I say, hey, I've got an idea, and then I start it and I go, get up, sorry guys, give me another shot. And that's when I'm, you know, a little bit nervous about it.
The other thing I've learned, and we don't do this now, like we're a lot more professional, but back when we were starting and a song was new, we played it long before it should have been played live. I was, you know, making up lyrics and mumbling through half of it because I couldn't remember, and people would still like it.
yeah.
Because it's more about the vibe you're creating, I guess, sometimes. So if people could enjoy that and applaud afterwards.
We also used to drink about
Used to drink a
case
lot
of
more on
beer
stage
before
too.
we went on
That's
stage
true.
too, and it all sounded good where we were sitting.
That's was a segue into my next
we're
point.
past that.
Actually, is it more fun to play a show after after having a couple of pops or being sober? I mean,
You know, that, I think, if you asked us that a few years ago, I think we probably would have said, oh, you got to have a few beers and be in that kind of buzz. I think now, and there's nothing wrong, there's people that do that and they do it well and they do it great. I think for us, we're as much as we like to have fun and we like to party and that's a big part of our social atmosphere with the band, we're also perfectionists. And so we know when we're not playing well, and we never want to put on a bad show. So actually, we have an unspoken rule. It's not, it's not by any means the law comes down if you disobey, but we generally try to have just a couple beers before we hit the stage, so you can loosen up.
It's pretty bad.
But no more. We don't want to be drunk when we're on stage.
And lucky enough, the honor system worked so far. I mean, nobody's getting rowdy or anything, and for the most part, we're all pretty good about that.
You have to be, you're at the end of the day, you're accountable to 5 other guys, right?
Yeah.
And
We've got a lot invested in this. I mean, not just time-wise, not just money-wise, emotionally, and this is our friendships. I mean, if it doesn't work out in this marriage that we have between the 6 of us, what are the odds we're going to be able to hang out? Do you know what I mean? I'm sure it'll work out after a little while, but
the minute that last chord is struck, watch out.
Well, you know what? Generally, it's about halfway through the set. Then it's like, let's get a round of shots on stage.
Well, yeah, all right, but you're not trashed. We're never trashed.
No,
we do. Part of our reputation out on the prairies is being able to shotgun as many or more beers than anybody else out there. So, there's definitely an aspect to that. There's an aspect of that, but there's a separation between our performance and our social time, right? That's work. It's work. We want to do that for work, so we got to treat it like that.
We've all been there where we've been hammered and you listen back the next day or watch a video and someone has it and you're shaking your head thinking, oh my God, right?
We talked about next the trials and tribulations of going into the studio and recording.
There's a few things that really frustrate you when you're in studio. For myself as a vocalist, it's getting myself in the right headspace so that it's natural and it's not, because I mean you are singing things over a few times. In our case, we don't want to auto-tune stuff and correct it all and edit it. So, you're trying to give it a really good take, but you don't want it to sound like a robot. So you're trying to stay focused and get into the song every time you play it. So that can be frustrating sometimes because you're trying to make it as good as you can.
I don't know, there's a lot that frustrates me about being in the studio.
One thing I've been frustrated by is not having a perfectly clear vision of what I'm expecting it to sound like on the other end. I mean, like, I'm learning, obviously, every time we go through the process, more and more about that, just about being that detailed before you go in and say, I know exactly what I want this to sound like on the other side. Like, the first time I ever recorded a record, I was like, I wonder what it's going to sound like when it's done. And that's, I hope you're not spending a ton of money if that's your attitude going in. And I definitely had to learn that, not the hard way, but, you have to learn it by going through it a couple times. So now it's like, well, we're spending X amount of money.
That's the frustrating part, keeping a budget.
Yeah.
Sure. Costs.
Yeah.
Oh, and managing 6 guys, trying to get 6 guys going the same direction all the time. Yeah. That's fun. Hey, Matt?
Well, guys, is there anything else you'd like to add to the people in the what do we call the cyber world? That's old. You don't say cyber world anymore, do we?
What
do we
kids
say?
saying these days?
I thought it's not cyber world anymore. What is it? You guys are younger.
Yeah.
I feel young these days.
You know what? That's a good question.
Well, I don't touch on it again because we touched on it briefly, but it's about within the next 2 months. Hopefully, we're hitting the studio, writing like crazy now, and it's going to be early 2011. We'll have our next. It'll be an EP, but our next EP will be done.
Yeah.
And we're looking for some big things to happen next year. The ball's starting to roll in the right direction. So.
That's great.
And we just launched a new webpage.
Just launched a new webpage. Yeah.
Matineemusic.com.
Love ain't kind of real. She sings a sad, sad song. Every man has done her wrong. Love is blind, says old Maria. How else do you explain how she's leaving
thank you very much for listening to Northern Transmissions. This episode we featured the Matinee, a great bunch of guys. I wish them all the best of luck in their future. And thank you to, as usual, producer extraordinaire Andy Kallstrom. And also I should thank also my partner in life, Heather DeLong, who does a lot of work helping me with the technical aspects as well of the show. So thanks to you all, and see you later.